when you come in as a nurse, which is great, but I also think it's also to be mindful of the fact that you are working with life and death, and you just kind of have to have a tough skin sometimes. You have to toughen up, and don't get me wrong, there are times you're gonna cry in a bathroom, you're gonna cry in a utility room. You're gonna have moments that are not great. You're gonna have parents scream at you. You're gonna have patients that you may lose. You're gonna have situations where you have to be the nurse to take, there's so many different things, and I think just being open-minded and coming in feeling like you can do the best for your patient. Welcome back to the Nurse Tori Selfie Show, where I'm on a mission to make healthcare hip, one selfie at a time. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Tori Meskin, aka @NurseTori. I am the founder of the Selfie Podcast, a platform dedicated to fascinating people in the healthcare space. From medical field to entrepreneurs, brands, businesses, this is a platform designed to share career journeys, life tips, resource tricks, and really getting to know the person behind the journey. Guess who's back?
Guess who's back again.
Oh my God, you guys, this sitting across from me is my very beautiful co-host, Miss Analise.
I'm back, bitches.
Analise is back from episode 1. If you haven't listened, go listen to that after this is done. So Analise is here with me today. I just wanted to get on today and spitfire on the mic.
Totally.
I'm feeling it today.
Yeah. Should we explain to them why I'm here?
Yes. Okay. So before we get into it, Analise moved into our house a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
You're working remotely.
I've been working remotely forever, but especially these last few months.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And the last couple of weeks at Children's has actually been slow. So I've been called off of my shifts quite a bit. So I'm actually taking this time to kind of try and study a little better. Focus on my studies like I should be.
We love studying.
You guys, it's miserable. I'm not even gonna lie. I so feel all of my nursing students out there right now. I'm getting these flashbacks, and I'm feeling it where I'm getting hot sweats before I take my tests. It's all bad. It's all bad.
Yeah.
I feel like a new grad again.
Yeah, you had to take a test. What was it, a day or two ago?
I had to take a test.
She was
I was
crazy.
I was freaking out.
She was.
I freak out. Not I freak out. I just get really nervous for some reason with these.
But it's crazy because you're so smart.
Oh my God, I don't know.
And you do so well in school, but
okay, so here's what it is. I'm good at the labs, and I'm actually pretty good at the papers, ironically. But I am not good at just straight up tests.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is. It's really hard for me to apply these concepts to these tests for some reason. It's just really hard for me. So there's that.
Yeah. I mean, you've also told me some of those questions that you have to answer, and I don't understand any of the words in them. So there's that.
It's all bad. So we have been doing that and trying to be healthy, doing our work. We're going on walks. Mm-hmm. We are practicing our social distancing.
Right.
It's a real thing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get into some of that stuff.
Yeah, and I just thought this would be a fun episode to kind of break up the monotony and the craziness. Today, I got a little fiery today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, today is Sunday, and I found out about all of these lovely protests going on throughout the nation, and I just got really frustrated. I think a lot of people in the medical field right now, period, even if you're not front lines, I think medical is feeling frustrated by it. There's definitely a lot of mixed feelings. There's feelings of, I understand where people are coming from, where yes, everything's on hold, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And obviously people's jobs, people are losing jobs. That's very real. Mm-hmm. I mean, you had a friend lose a job. We had a friend lose a job this week. Mm-hmm. We also, Jacob, we happen to know someone who actually passed of COVID 2 weeks ago. So that's kind of gnarly. So it's affecting everybody. But these protests literally got under my skin so bad, because I just feel like it was just such a slap in the face. It's like
to all the work that the frontliners are putting in right now.
Yeah, it's just, it didn't feel like a very, I mean, the cause behind it was like, why, you know, they were so angry, and it's like, well, who are you angry at? Like, what?
Yeah,
I don't understand.
It is hard because there is so much anger in the world right now, but there's no real person to be angry at. It's just a feeling of anger for everyone that's having to go through this.
Yeah, and I validate that. Like, I get that, but I just don't. For people who are working front lines, for example, my brother, my sister-in-law, my friends who are all in EDs, ICUs, like they're in the trenches. I just felt like it was such a slap in their face for people to be literally clogging up freeways and parking on freeways so healthcare workers couldn't get to work, and people going out in San Diego.
I know.
And, you know, it's everywhere though. It's not just... I just got really frustrated. So I'm a little fiery today.
But we're just going to answer some fun questions.
We are going to answer. We're going to change it up. We're going to change it up today. I wanted to make this fun and light, more relevant to today. We're going to talk a little COVID, but honestly, I kind of wanted it to be more of a Q&A, just something fun.
Yeah.
So I put up some question boxes
on the
IG, and I'm gonna have Annalise help me here. We're gonna go through some of these questions and answer some of your questions, because I think that'd be fun to kind of break it up. And
totally. All right, you want to just jump right into it?
Let's go.
All right,
let's go.
I do have a couple of COVID ones up front because I'm also curious to some of these.
Okay.
So let's see if you even have an answer for this one. One person asked the best part of working COVID, like working during COVID.
It's kind of fucked up question, but I like it. Okay, so actually, ironically, I do have one good thing. The only probably good thing is there's no traffic on the way into work. I mean, okay, literally though, there's no. It's like the drive that I have now is like cut in half.
Easy.
Yeah, there's that. Which is kind of actually not good because it is less time for me to listen to my podcast. But okay, so the other thing I would say that is kind of crazy is that COVID has actually very much brought a lot of the underlying issues, I would say, that we have in healthcare, period. Like, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of things that are coming to the surface of either how not prepared we are, or just the lack of communication from upper management to middle management to, you know, standards, just everything. So I feel like the other thing I would say to loop this in is this crazy amount of information that is being passed through providers from around the world, and how collaborative the medical field has become. So I'm actually a part of a really interesting group on Facebook. And I had to apply to it. It's a group of purely only professionals. You have to apply with your credentials. I applied as a nurse practitioner student and got accepted into it. And so it's very professional. And it has been so interesting to be a fly on the wall in this Facebook group, because it's these brilliant minds from around the world, people literally giving day by day play of what's going on in their setting. And people are literally, you know, for example, OB clinics, they're asking like, hey, have you had a positive mom and how are you handling this? Hey, we have X, Y, and Z labs in this adult ICU. You know, these are things to look out for. Hey, I just saw this symptom. Look for this. Hey, we tried this medication. It seems to be working. It's just been a really interesting time to be a little bit of a fly on the wall as a provider, potential provider one day. And to see its collaboration. So I would say those are probably the only two things that I really can think of off the top of my head. But yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah. Well, follow up to that. What is the worst part of working during COVID?
Just all of this. It's just shit. It's just shit, man. Like, I don't even want to lie about that. Okay, so the one thing that I would say it's really interesting, other than the fact that the front line is feeling this the most, I would say emergency departments, ICUs, medical, all adult focused, they're for sure the most impacted. I would say, ironically, in the pediatrics, a lot of us people are not getting their hours for work. A lot of elective surgeries have been canceled. Clinics are not working. So it's interesting because we have this group of providers who are working tirelessly in these acute settings. And then you have this whole group of medical that literally are not working. And I'm talking dentists, clinics, right, plastic surgeons. I mean, they all need to work too, and they can't take cases, dermatologists. There's a whole gamut of providers that are out of the job as well. So, I think it's affecting everybody in such a different way. I would say another big part, and probably the number one thing, is the lack of PPE. That is very real, and every single provider nationwide feels that. I mean, I have to wear literally the same surgical mask that it's crazy to me that they want you to reuse these masks that you were supposed to use one time for one patient. Mm-hmm. And now we're reusing them for a week, which is crazy. And N95s, that's like, I mean, everyone knows we're on a shortage, but the amount, like how it's affecting people, I mean, providers are getting sick, these providers. So the PPE, I would say, is the number one thing. And I also am very frustrated, and this is just me spitting on the mic, you guys, but I am frustrated with our, the lack of attention to that, maybe. That's a big thing for me. I think that the fact that we don't have enough protection when we are the wealthiest country in the world is crazy to me. And that's really not a big highlight issue. Like, we're not talking about that. I have a feeling when this is all over, that conversation is going to be a much bigger one. I have a big feeling that this is going to be,
how could we have done this better?
Yes.
Yeah.
And how are we prepared for next time?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. I would say that those are super big issues that I feel like I feel the most strongly about, for sure. It's just, I feel bad for, everyone who's out of the job, but the PPE, whoa, that's a big one. A good thing that came out. Thank you to all the companies who really stepped up. There's a lot of companies who start creating masks and really stepped up.
Donations to hospitals, yes, all of that.
Yeah, people.
It's awesome to see.
Companies who are donating food and feeding frontline providers, and companies who switched over from making one of my girlfriends, I'm trying to get her on the podcast actually, but she's an ICU nurse, and her friend's company switched over from making yoga leggings to face masks, and they're so cute.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of companies who really stepped up. I know Brave Gowns, that's another one that I've been talking about. They are creating masks, and they originally started as a pediatric oncology, what are they making? The
scrubs? Not
scrubs, patient gowns.
Oh, okay.
Like cute ones for pediatrics. Aww. And they switched over to creating masks, and just, I don't know. I think that's actually a really cool thing.
Yeah, I mean, with KP, we've had a bunch of companies donate things like respirators, which obviously we desperately need right now. So that's, definitely. Yeah,
it's been really
incredible to see the kind of humanity and community that rallies around to try to help in a situation like this. It's awesome to see.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that's actually been a really, really cool thing to see as well, for sure.
Yeah. Well, another good question is about nursing school in a pandemic. How it's been affected, what's changed.
Yeah. So, okay. My blanket statement on this is, I think this is probably coming from an actual nursing school. So I spoke a little bit about this, or I wrote up a post about it. But my whole thing as far as a nursing school goes is, I feel like, okay, we all know I struggled through school. I'm still struggling through school. That's not a secret. I feel like the most amount of learning you will ever have is on the floors. So to me, nursing school is like you're learning the lingo, you're learning the terminology, you're getting sort of your bearings on what to expect. But honestly, I don't think you really learn until you're on the job. Mm-hmm. I don't know how the job market is going to be after all this. I will be curious to see the job market, and who knows how that's going to, no one can predict what that's going to look like, but that doesn't change how I think anyone should approach it. Mm-hmm. Let's be honest. I did not get my job. I did not land my job until 8 months after I graduated nursing school anyways.
Right.
And I don't know, if anything, it's giving you current time right now to focus on your studies and to take this time. I just really think with all of the negativity and all this craziness, it's like, I just don't want to channel my energy that way. Like, I want to stay positive. I want to use this time to better myself, especially if you are stuck in quarantine. Like, this is the time to really like focus on, whatever you're in, whatever situation you're in. Like, if you're trying to become a nurse, like, what kind of provider do I want to become? Take the time to become the most expert person in that realm. Mm-hmm. If you're trying to become a yoga instructor, like, take this time to study up on that. Reading, podcasts, like, that's how I like to channel my energy. And it's hard. I get it, mentally it's really tough. I will say being a student right now is really tough for me in the sense of I get very distracted very easily. And, I'm just learning my tactics of how to sit down and, I kind of make myself a schedule. I make myself my coffee in the morning.
Mm-hmm, you do.
Get up. Yeah. And, I just have this like mindset of I have to do X amount of studying before noon, or, then I try to take breaks. Like, I'll study really hard for like half an hour, and then I'll get up, stretch my legs, walk around sort of, and then get back at it. Yeah. And then take a nice little breather. I'm kind of more into the intermittent fasting lately, so I don't eat a lot of breakfast.
I am too. Mm-hmm. I used to be a big breakfast gal, and now I like to wake up and take my time and then eat 11, 12. I'm feeling that right now. Yeah. It feels really good. Yeah. To get hungry.
Yeah, it does. To eat. Like, I need to get hungry. That's where I'm at. But it is like, okay, it just depends on if I'm working bedside, it's different. But in the, not even. I like to get hungry. Like, I don't usually eat anything at all until 10:30, at least at the earliest, maybe 11.
Well, that's actually a good lead up into another question, which was your favorite snacks to bring in with you to work.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Okay, so I will say this. Normally, I am a salty girl. Mm-hmm. Like, I just always gravitate to salty things.
Yeah, same. So I like chips. I'm a big chip eater.
Yeah. My head goes like hummus and like carrots. That's kind of where I'm at. I will, the Smart Pop's a really good one.
I have no idea.
Pirate's
what that
Booty.
Is. Oh, Pirate's
Booty. That's where I'm at.
Oh, so good.
Yes.
So good.
Yeah. Okay. So those kinds of things are really good. Day shift is different than night shift. Obviously, day shift, I do feel like I can actually have a salad. I actually really enjoy, like, it's kind of weird. I'll have my salad first, like earlier in the day, and then I'll have like a snack later.
Do you do a break? Because when you get to your 12-hour shift, your shift starts at 8 or 7?
So we're 7 to 7. Most places that I have worked is 7 to 7 or 7:30.
So what do you do for then, like, a breakfast then? Do you eat before work, or do you bring a breakfast?
I never eat. First of all, I'm sprinting out the door last minute for.
We don't got no time for a breakfast.
No time. Zero. I have enough time to grab my Starbucks on the way into work. Oh. 5 minutes late, rolling in, Lord almighty. Okay, so no, I don't usually, but I don't eat breakfast in the morning just because my body doesn't need it. Some people physically need breakfast. Mm-hmm. I'm not one of those people. I am the person that, like, I need my stomach to get empty.
Totally.
And then eat. Mm-hmm. So my first meal, it just I always like salty. Like, I kind of gravitate to like some potatoes and maybe like egg or like avocado toast. That's just more my breakfast. Even I love menudo. It's the Mexican in me, okay?
Gosh,
love me some menudo.
So gross.
But something like that where it's on the saltier side. And I'll usually actually what I will do is have a heavier breakfast and then have like a salad
later in the
day.
day
It just kind of depends on the day though. But Jacob does like to make dinner, and he likes to have dinner together. So some nurses will actually eat a heavier meal around like 3 or 4, so that way you don't eat dinner.
Yeah.
So like they just kind of bypass the whole dinner thing. I like the ritual of coming home and having dinner with Jacob. Like he likes to cook, so he likes to make something when I come home.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
Yeah, that's so cute.
He's good. So that's kind of how I rock that. Other snacks. Okay, so night shift. Let's talk night shift.
Oh, good idea.
Night shift was a whole different gamut. I really gravitated to like things like oatmeal, soups. I could very rarely ever eat, like pretty much most night shifters will tell you this, is like you cannot eat heavy meals because you just get tired.
Oh yeah.
So it's like you have to snack more. I feel like I had to snack more often when I was on nights.
To keep you up.
So like gum was my best friend. Obviously caffeine, except you stop caffeine. I usually stopped my caffeine around 3 a.m. And then try to do like water with lemon or even Emergency to kind of have like something to break up some water. Like I'm not a big water person.
Yeah, you guys, Victoria, it's a problem. She doesn't drink water.
I do not drink water. I'm so bad. If I had to pick my worst healthy habit, that'd probably be it. Is I do not drink enough water. I'm working on it. Okay, I'm working on it. Like that was one of the worst things I had to do when I was doing my bikini contest.
Oh, well, you couldn't drink a lot of water,
No,
right?
I had to.
Oh, I thought you couldn't because like then your skin gets tighter and you can see the muscles more.
So leading up to the week, so the whole my whole prep was about 13 weeks, right? Every week up until, or every day of every week up until the week of the actual competition, you had to drink a gallon of water.
That's
every day.
Insane.
Yes.
I definitely don't drink a gallon of water.
No, it's like crazy. So you're basically training your body through that time to consume or process that much water every day. And then the week of the competition, you start depleting your body of water.
Oh,
so you actually you overhydrate through the whole process and then you dehydrate.
Got it. That sounds awful.
It's crazy. But low-key loved the way it came out. It was great.
I mean, you looked phenomenal.
Well, it was a great process.
Maybe really wouldn't do it again.
No, Jacob would kill me. I was psycho. I was literally, you guys, he hated me. I was the most hangry person.
Yeah. Hungry Tori.
Ooh.
She's just not cute.
Not cute. Yeah, no. So water's a big one. I'm trying to think of anything else that, I just like more snacky things. I'm just, I am, as I said, like avocado toast. That's kind of where my head goes. Anything with hummus, crackers, chips. I kind of like, I don't know, light things like that. I'm big on Trader Joe's. Everything at Trader Joe's is like,
phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's the best store in the
it's
entire
easy.
world. No, Costco is the best store in the Costco is the best store in the entire world. Yes. Trader Joe's close second, almost tied for first.
I don't know. I feel like for us, it's like a reverse. Like Trader Joe's is probably number one, then number two. I just love
Costco. It's truly Disneyland to me.
Mainly because of the samples.
Because of the samples, and it's literally has everything.
I know.
It has clothes, furniture,
yes,
cooking,
batteries,
food, batteries.
Alcohol.
You literally, that's the only store you
Dessert.
ever need to go to. Dessert. It's literally the
holiday
best store.
decor,
technology, jewelry. What?
Your engagement
ring is sitting at Costco right
now. Low key, I wouldn't be mad about that.
I would be happy about it. Okay, so I'm reading this one, kind of going back to the school thing, but because you said you're good at papers, but this person is asking about it. She's like, papers for NP school. I'm freaking out already. I hate writing papers.
Okay.
Which, hello. I didn't have to, I mean, I'm not in NP school, but English classes for college and whatever, the worst. Hated writing papers.
Yeah. Okay, so 100%, that was definitely one of my biggest, I was terrified. I had sort of low-key a secret weapon. Her name is Emily Taylor. So she's a good friend of mine. And what I would advise you to is if there's anyone that has gone through grad school or has tips, maybe to get some tips from them, I will actually write up a post with resources that I've used, because there are definitely things that I have used to help me kind of like get back into the mentality of writing a paper, especially a professional paper, because when you're writing you have a paper like this, you have to cite everything, and it can be very overwhelming when you're getting into that mindset of I'm writing as a clinician, I'm writing as a professional. Mm-hmm. And for me, I've been writing as a blogger for the past like 3 years. And so it was really hard for me actually to kind of shift that mindset.
Ooh, yeah.
That was like a very real thing. Like you get used to your loose lingo, and I kind of get used to how I talk through my writing. And so anyway, I will actually write up a blog post about that, but I would say there are some resources I have, and I can't think of them exactly on the top of my head, but there's some websites that I've used to kind of help format my pages or my paragraphs. Because like, for example, you can't start a paragraph with a quote. Like you have to start with an intro into the quote and explain the author, blah, 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 this crazy stuff. Mm-hmm. There are some little finite rules. So I will actually link some of the sources there. I do actually think once you get into the flow of writing professionally, it becomes much easier. I will say that. But everyone hates it. I mean, nobody likes it. I don't know. Maybe there are people out there that like it, but I'm not one of those.
Psychopaths.
Huh?
I said psychopaths.
100%. Like, yes, I get to write a research paper. Like, that is not me at all, which is why I did not go back for my DNP, because I just don't have an interest really in research, or teaching at this point. But it does get a little easier once you kind of get into the flow and you're understanding what the professor wants. I would also say use your professors. I reach out to my professors all the time for questions just to make sure I'm on the right path. Like, hey, this is my idea. I would say in grad school, you really need, and if you're doing it online like I am, you just really have to be organized. You have to be thinking 5 steps ahead of everything. Like, just be hyper organized. So for example, if you have a paper due on Saturday, you better be reaching out on Monday if you have questions about the paper and making sure like you understand everything correctly. So getting your mindset ready for grad school is a big thing, especially for NP, because I think it's almost like you kind of have, you're building on what you've learned. So you have a foundation, which is great. So I don't know. I think I got into the flow of it, and if I can get through it, for sure, you can get through it.
Yeah. There's hope.
There's hope. There's hope.
Okay, this one is just a cute message, but I would call it the name, you guys. However, Tori did not want me calling out the weirdos and psychos out there.
We get some
that sent her some weird ass messages because she knew I would call them out in the podcast. So she blacked out all of the names.
I was like, you cannot do it. You cannot shout out this name. Nope.
But this one's cute. It says, "Hey, hope you are well and staying safe." I thought that was so cute.
Thank you.
Another one said, "Keep it up."
Thank you guys. That was really cool. That's cool.
Okay, diversion here. What job would you be terrible at? I know mine. Which is
out of the nursing realm?
No, I think just in general. But maybe
out of the nursing realm.
Do nursing and in general.
Okay, out of the nursing realm for sure. Finance. Not my thing. I'm good at spending money.
Right. Terrible at saving it.
Terrible. Terrible.
That's a good one.
What about you?
Nursing.
Real tea here.
Somebody would come in and be like, "I have a broken bone," and I would be like, "Oh, that sucks."
You're like, not my thing.
I don't want to see it.
Oh my god. Okay, in the nursing realm, I would say my least favorite would be to be a wound care nurse.
Really? Why?
Okay, so here's the thing. It's a realm, and a lot of these people, it's something you either gravitate to or you don't. Okay, so wound care nurses, it's becoming a very interesting specialty where they basically are a subset, like they have their own, they work very autonomously. So they essentially go from patient to patient within the hospital and care for wounds.
Is this like burns, cuts?
Yes, anything.
Okay.
But some of the stuff that you have to do, like wound vacs and like secretions and pus and like...
Ooh, like Dr. Pimple Popper?
Yes, it's like that.
I actually love that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But like nothing... Like cut, like blood, no. But watching pimples being popped,
gross.
Ooh, I love it.
Ew, no.
This is gonna be people watching this podcast are gonna be on one of our sides for sure.
100%.
Like, yes, pimples being popped are my thing.
It's not. It is so not my like. It grosses me out so much. Like
so satisfying.
Can't do it. And so it's funny because as a resource, we have wound nurses at one of my hospitals, and I love it because they'll come in and they'll do like the dressing changes, or they'll come in and fix things for me, or just kind of like help me out with X, Y, and Z. And it's just not my thing. I don't like staging a wound. You have to stage them as grade them as far as how bad they are, and then there's just pus and grossness and infection and green and brown and black all mixed together. It's not my thing. So I would say that's probably my least favorite. Yeah. That's just not my thing, but I appreciate them, so thank you.
All right, cool. Gross. It's all gross to me. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh, okay. Hopefully having at least one child, maybe two.
In 5 years, I think you'll have two.
Yeah.
Maybe one on the way.
Yeah. That's more realistic. Done with grad school, hopefully. So I will be done a year and a half from now. I think a year and a half. So done with grad school for sure. Hopefully working in a setting that I'm really excited about sort of the next step. So my hope is that I graduate from grad school, have a kid, maybe two, or maybe like one on the way, graduate, and then get to start in a different setting. That's just kind of what I'm looking forward to. And then, yeah. Okay.
Well, jumping onto that, another person asked, after completing FNP school, what specialty are you going into?
So definitely family. I'm excited for the family practice setting, kind of for several reasons. So been a nurse now about 8 years. Majority of it's been in the NICU setting. I love the NICU, and I will say this: I just love it. I love working with the families. I love the critical care aspect. I do feel like I just am very much gravitating towards educating moms and really developing relationships with these families. I kept finding myself kind of pulling that way, where I felt like if only this mom had known X, Y, and Z, or do they know how to handle this outpatient? And always wondering kind of where my babies were going after this. So I think there's going to be something that ends up playing out well, whether that is more in family setting or maybe even a specialty clinic, pediatric. That's kind of where my head is going. I was really torn as if whether I should specialize in women's care or pediatric. So I ended up choosing family because it's more general. And I did a lot of research, you guys, on the jobs in our area. And majority of the jobs are hiring are FNP in my area. So, and for jobs that at least looked somewhat interesting to me. And, a lot of it's about networking. I'm kind of keeping my eye out right now. I still have about a year and a half. So I'm talking to people, I'm at the hospital. I'm like, hey, how'd you do this? How'd you do that? I'm just sort of getting a feel for where people are at. Like, would they be interested in hiring someone? How come, would we work well together? So that's kind of where my head is at right now. I don't know 100% where I'm at, but I kind of like that. I like the thrill of not knowing. I think for me, it's just fun. This is like a fun journey. Like, I like it. I like getting out of my comfort zone. This is where I needed that. I needed to get out of my comfort zone and sort of spread my wings a little bit as a practitioner or as a nurse. And yeah.
Totally. Can't relate, but love that for you. I love being in my comfort zone.
You love your comfort.
I love my comfort zone.
Analise and Jacob are literally the same person in so many ways in that way. You really are. You guys have your routines. You love your job. You guys have your thing, like the food you eat every day, your workouts you do every day. It's very predictable.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
It's cute.
I love it.
Are your RTs hand-on at your hospital? Do you coordinate mock codes, education with them?
Oh my God. Yes. Way more than I think any other unit, just because we rely on our RTs so much. I was raised in a unit at a children's hospital where you literally did not touch your patient without an intubated patient, without your RT. So we really value them, especially when you're working with life that is literally a child that is 350 grams and you have millimeters to work with an ET tube. Love my RTs. Love them.
Fantastic.
Fabulous.
Sounds lovely.
Love
and
you.
Terrible to me. How's it going? That's a question.
Oh dear Lord.
How's it going?
Today good. Today it's a great day. Yeah.
Oh, cute. We did have a really good day today.
We had a good day today.
Top 3 advice points for someone just beginning their nursing school journey.
Stay organized. Be persistent and tenacious, and I would always suggest someone to start kind of looking around now, just kind of get a feel for hospitals you'd want to apply to. Always think ahead. Yeah. And, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, you guys. Like, you're going to get through it. It's miserable. We all hated it. But you get through it. And it's great at the end. So
just push through.
You
got this.
Yeah.
I'm going to be your life coach. You got this.
Yeah.
Persevere. No days off.
Hashtag gains.
Hashtag gains. Oh my gosh, you guys, we watched the new Crystalia special. 10 out of 10 recommend.
He's amazing. Oh my God. He is.
He's beautiful.
Dad.
I love him. I'm in love.
Oh yeah, I know.
Crystalia,
We just found out he has a baby daddy. He is a baby daddy.
He is a baby daddy.
He is a baby daddy. Dang it.
I know. He didn't wait for me. How rude.
Right?
I'm pissed. It's fine.
You were meant to be with him. I don't know.
I don't know what happened.
He's really unattractive, but it's okay.
Whoa. That's crossing the line.
If you haven't seen him, Google this right now.
Crystalia. He's
Crystalia.
So cute.
No, he looks like he's strung out on drugs.
And he does comment on that in his last special.
And he does not drink, nor does he do drugs.
Drink or do drugs, and he's hilarious.
He's really funny.
Oh my God. Whatever.
He's hysterical. I absolutely love him.
Shout out to Crystalia.
Love you. We do love you.
Okay. The biggest lesson you've learned as a nurse / NICU nurse.
Okay, so there's so many things. That's such a loaded question. Okay, so I think the biggest thing is to really, okay. NICU is very niche in the sense of we're dealing with oftentimes very critical situations like trauma. You're literally having to deal with probably the hardest time in someone's life, which is supposed to be the happiest time, but it turns into the worst time. And the longer you are in that profession, the easier it is to sort of get jaded. And I think the biggest thing for me is just remembering the touchstone of getting back to, you have to remember that these parents, this is all new to them. Hopefully it's the first time they've been in a NICU, and to really empathize with these families and to really, take the time to educate and to be diligent and to be, I think it's important as a NICU nurse to be overly diligent. Our patients are the most vulnerable. Like, they physically can't do anything for themselves. They are the most, like, every single thing that they rely on you for everything. And that's partly why I love it, is because we get to be someone's advocate at literally their most vulnerable point. So I think just really taking that and becoming the best possible provider for not only your babies, but also the families as well. And for the babies who don't have families, to be an extra love for them.
Yeah.
Because that happens too. So, yeah.
I love that answer. That's so great. All right. I like this question a lot. Tips for your first weeks on a nursing job. How to fit in, feel confident, and learn quick.
I think the biggest thing that I really love are new grads that come in humble and just open-minded. Nothing worse than a nurse that comes in and just shakes their head and says, I know that. Or, well, what about this way? Like, no. Doesn't work for me. No. If you're here to learn, you're here to learn. I think going in humble, going in kind of like with this ready to learn and just, I think a little bit of this is there's this rose-colored glasses when you come in as a nurse, which is great. But I also think it's also to be good and mindful of the fact that you are working with life and death, and you just kind of have to have a tough skin sometimes. You have to toughen up. And don't get me wrong, there are times you're going to cry in a bathroom. You're going to cry in a utility room. You're going to have moments that are not great. You're going to parents scream at you. You're going to have patients that you may lose. You're going to have situations where you have to be the nurse to take, there's so many different things. And I think just being open-minded and coming in feeling like you can do the best for your patient each day. I think that just using all those things and, crafting yourself as a nurse, becoming the best you possibly can is really important.
Yeah, and I think it's for any job just expecting that learning curve out of school because even for me in my position now, it's completely different from what I learned in school. I learned a lot of information in school, but
it's uncomfortable.
It is uncomfortable. There's a huge learning curve when you first start your job, and you have to be prepared for people to just be upfront and no, that's not how you do it. Do it this way. And expect to mess up once. Yeah. Maybe twice. Mm-hmm. Not a third time. That's the best advice a manager has ever given me was mess up once. Fine. Twice? Okay. 3 times? No.
Yeah. You better learn from kind of learn.
Be prepared to learn. Yeah. Be prepared for there to be a big learning curve. And I can't even imagine how big that curve is in nursing just because
it's big. I will say
I'm
that.
sure that bedside is so much different than nursing school.
Yeah, it really is. And it's funny, coming to mind, I had a preceptee, this was maybe 2 or 3 years ago. She's going to know if she listens to this. We had 2 patients, and one of which was going to surgery. And we ended up having quite literally probably the hardest shift I had even in a long time. Like we were going to MRI, we were doing this, we were getting KUBs, chest x-rays, we were post-oping, we were doing blood pressures, adding on dopamine, not to mention the fact we did have another patient that we ended up having to give up, but it was a super overwhelming shift. And I think there was a lot of unexpected turns we ended up having. And it was interesting because at the end of the shift, I could tell that my preceptee, I loved her. She was so overwhelmed, and she was literally like we were giving report, and I just took over for her because I was like, okay, we need to have a minute. And I knew it was one of those days where I was going to be there until like 8:30, charting and doing all these things. And I just kind of took a minute and I was like, what do you feel like you learned from today? And she just like couldn't even look at me. She was just like done. And at the end of the shift, I remember when we were going through all these stages, I would tell her something and she would freeze. She couldn't function. Like I would be like, could you get this? Can you get that? We need to get, and just kind of trying to explain to her like what we're doing. And I was trying to be 5 steps ahead and explaining to her where my mind was. And she was so overwhelmed. And on my end, as a preceptor, I had to be like, slow down, like, let her consume this. And I was hard on her. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I was like, look, if you can't, this is something where this is why I told you X, Y, and Z, because this is where we're at right now, just kind of like helping her process like how the day went and everything that I knew was going to be happening. And I kind of felt like she wasn't up to speed. Like wanted her to be up to speed with me, and she wasn't. And I was hard on her. Mm-hmm. But then I took a minute at the end of the shift, and I was like, look, like, I know today was a lot, like, decompress. These were the things you did well. We kind of went through it, and I said, these are the things to work on, right? And I knew she was going to go home and cry, and I knew it. And so I texted her, and I think we texted, and we kind of talked, and she gave me the feedback a couple days ago, like, you know, after that, and she was just like, you know, sort of saying, like, thank you for being hard on me, and also thank you for acknowledging that you were being hard on me.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Because I could, you know, it was more one of those things where I'm like, I just guess in those moments, I'm just one of those people that I just do. Right. And I really believe in, those are some of the moments that make you as a nurse.
Absolutely.
And they're uncomfortable as fuck. Mm-hmm. Like, they're not easy. Like, these moments where you're literally have someone's life on your lines, like, your blood pressure is tanking, your sats are going down, you have a patient who's, you know, you can tell they're literally decompensating in front of your face, and you have to act quickly. And I was hard on her. I was just like, you know, but as I said, I did acknowledge it, and I said, look, like, I know today was not fun. It was the opposite of fun. Right. We didn't get a break. Like, I'm pretty sure it was one of those days where, like, we literally did not get a break. But anyway, it was a cool moment just from between, and the funny part now is we have this bond. Like, I love her, and she's a killer nurse now. Aww. Really cool.
Happy ending.
I did love that. She's amazing, and she's, you know, bun up, mask on, baby.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, a little bit of a lighter question after that. Have you ever had a surprise party that you were actually surprised when it happened?
No.
Me neither. I'm kind of mad about it.
I'm mad about that too. I've thrown surprise parties where I know someone was surprised, but no. I'm usually pretty good at picking that. I can act surprised.
Have you had a surprise party thrown for you, but then you found out that it was happening?
There was one where...
Wait.
What?
Wait, shit, I just remembered that I was at a surprise birthday party for you.
Which one?
For your 30th birthday. Oh, fuck, I just remembered this. It's when we went wine tasting, and we got the party bus, and Megan and I were here, and you were like,
I knew that was happening.
Brunch. Fuck, I think we were
okay, so here's the thing. I didn't know what it was.
But you knew something was happening.
I knew something was happening. Because I did the whole... When Jacob asked, like, what do you want to do for your birthday? And I was like, nothing. And then I'm like, oh, he's going to do something. But I didn't want to plan it. I just was like, I don't know. I don't know what to do. And he was so good. Okay, here's the thing. And it was it Taylor? Who could?
So you were supposed to go to... So me and Megan were staying here, and you were going to go to a birthday brunch with Michelle and Travis.
Oh, yeah.
And you were like, wait, why aren't Annalise and Megan coming? And we were like, no, like, it's your birthday thing. Like, you go. But
that's right.
We were, like, driving to their house.
Yes, to get on a party bus.
And
then we went to do lots of wine tasting.
Yeah.
It was fabulous.
And got very drunk.
We got so drunk. It was so much fun. Yeah, that one I definitely knew was kind of happening.
You knew something was happening.
Yeah.
Not what was happening.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
Damn.
There was another one we had. Yeah, anyway. Yeah. You get it.
We tried.
Yeah.
You're also just hard to surprise.
I know.
Because you ask so many questions. Like, you won't, like, you're not the person that's, like, you go with the flow, but you also like to have a plan.
I'm so type A.
So when there's not a plan, you're like, well, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And so when there wasn't really a plan that day, you were like, well, no, what are we doing?
What are we doing? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like, yeah. I like to know. I'm very type A in that way, okay?
Mm-hmm. How did you and Jacob meet?
All right, before we dive into that, I want to get specific about what I'm wearing. Majority of my home time is yoga pants, and the other part is jeans and barn boots. But my work life is scrubs. I've been a Barco uniforms girl since day one. From the fit, tailored look, fabric feels, and longevity, this is the only brand I have worn throughout my nursing career. I'm partial to the Grad Anatomy line, and let's get micro on this, specifically their signature line. That is my go-to. I'm also a huge fan of the newer Edge line. It is very sleek. Barco Scrubs has been curating scrubs since 1929, a 91-year company. How many companies can you say have been around for 91 years? If you're interested in joining the Barco Brigade today, head over to www.barcouniforms.com/stores to find a retailer near you. Thank you, Barco, for your paid partnership, and let's get back to the show. So we both went to University of Arizona, bear down, and I was dating a baseball player and he was dating someone else at the time. We knew of each other. We ran in similar circles at U of A and he was on the baseball team, obviously, and we knew of each other. Graduated from college, and then I was living with one of my best friends, and I was newly single. And of course, the whole story of like, I was literally swearing off men after this relationship.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just need to wash men the fuck out of my hair. I was like, this is not, I was so
Get
not.
out of the house.
Oh, yeah.
Pack up your clothes.
Yes. I was like, I need a fresh new start. And I actually was looking forward to being single.
Mm-hmm.
That was like in my mind. I was like, single. Yes.
Sure.
And then Jacob showed up at my door because, Lauren invited him over with one of his buddies. And I wouldn't say it was like right away. Actually, it's funny because I was kind of like talking to this other guy.
Mm-hmm.
And
after swearing off men.
But I was like playing the field, know?
Sure, yeah, of course.
I was
just
having
having fun.
I was having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just remember I was smitten with this guy. Like, he was just like, he was just so hot and all the wrong things for me.
Totally. Love those guys.
He was just like, I should not have been barking up at that tree at all. Like, why was I I don't even know. It was just bad news bears, like screaming like daddy issues and all the bad things that would happen in a relationship was like him. Okay. So anyway, long story short, Jacob and he kind of like swept in there. Like, he did a good job. He really made himself like a point to get in there. And we went on a date, and I just remember being so like, he definitely swept me off my feet. Very, yeah. It was really sweet. Like, the first date, he kind of just was like, I don't know, it's such a gentleman, and I don't know, it fit really well. We knew a lot of the same people. We ran in similar circles, so it was fun. It's really good.
He also is just a great human, and you're a great human, so you guys are just great humans together. And
I think
absolutely lovely to see.
He makes me better.
100%.
I think I have like a bitchy streak, for sure.
Uh-huh.
And he mellows me out.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's like a whole side of Tori, I think, that I don't know how much, but he definitely is the good to my, like, he mellows me out a lot.
He helps you a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. He brings a lot of goodness to everything. Like, my mindset.
Does.
Yeah, he does.
Love him.
Yeah.
All right, we're just going to do a couple more questions. I like this one. Who is harder on you, your boss or yourself?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think I'm always hard on myself. That's like one of the big questions I get from nurses, or a lot of the things I'll get is like, should I do this certification? Should I do that? Da, 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 da. And my answer to them is always yes. It doesn't matter what, because I just feel like I'm always a person that's wanting to do more, and to be the best. I think I always gravitated to being, I don't know, I'm a doer. Like, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. Like, in my, I would say, nursing role, I really took 7 years to really be good at my craft and learn from different organizations and take advantage of so many things, getting my RNC, doing, education, going to conferences, and then now with blogging, and then, kind of going into that realm, and now podcasting. I just think I really do try and put 100% in everything. And I just think that no boss could ever be as hard on me as I think I am. And that's the way I always operated, I think, as a person,
Yeah. That's definitely a personality style.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, to end it off, we're just going to do a set of rapid fire.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Just first thing.
Okay.
We're both going to answer, okay?
Okay.
Favorite food?
Mexican.
Pasta. Favorite color?
Sparkles.
That is the most fucking accurate answer I've ever heard to any question ever.
Metallic, is that a color? Like gold, silver.
Oh
doesn't matter.
Gosh,
Like sparkles,
so
it was shiny.
Funny.
What's
wow.
yours?
All right. Blue. Next travel destination that you want to go to?
Italy.
I would just the whole UK. Ireland,
Yeah.
Scotland.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
England. Want to go there so bad. Strangest thing you've ever eaten?
Probably menudo.
Really?
But I eat it all the time, so.
Yeah, I don't know if that's weird.
Yeah.
A pig's tongue.
Yeah. Oh, well, we do pig roasts, so there's
Yeah.
that. Okay, yeah.
Last movie that made you cry?
Oh, like every movie? I don't know. I can't give you one. I'm a crier. Why lie?
The last one was I just watched Onward with Rebecca on FaceTime. We were FaceTiming watching the movie at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you guys, don't watch that movie unless you want to cry. Like, it is so...
Do commercials count? It's just kidding. I don't know. Yeah.
When I dance, I look like...
I want to be Shakira. I don't know.
I like think I'm Beyonce.
Yeah, like honestly, I want to be something that I'm not.
Oh my gosh. Who is one person you met you wish you hadn't? Let's get into these.
I can't. I don't know. Are we taking celebrity?
I think it could just be anyone.
I don't know. I think you learned something from everybody, so I don't know if that's a good question for me.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Okay.
Gosh,
Okay. Yeah.
deep.
Even the worst,
Right.
you learn from them.
Hi.
Hi.
What's the meanest thing you've ever said to somebody? I don't say mean things to people.
Oh, well, the meanest thing I've ever done is kick my brother in the balls when he was like 4 or 5, and I was
you guys
so mad
would
at
get
him.
rowdy.
Yeah, we get down. I was really mad at him for not playing with me, and so I kicked him in the balls when I was like 5.
What's one thing that is on your bucket list?
Going to Italy. That's a big one. Haven't done that yet. I got my boobs done, so there's that. I don't know.
That was on your bucket list for a long time.
Yeah, and I also did the bikini contest. I love that. I don't know. It's a hard one. Traveling.
I wanna go skydiving really badly.
Yeah, we already done that.
I know, you already did that.
Yeah.
That's like on everybody's bucket list, so it's not a good one, but I really do want to do it.
It's a good one. Definitely do it. We did it.
Yeah.
We've done a lot. That was my goal.
You guys have done a lot. It's so spectacular.
When we got married, that was like our thing. I was like, we wanted to do a lot of things, and we've done a lot of things. So I would like to travel a little bit more before we have kids, but yeah.
Would you rather go 100 years into the future or 100 years back into the past?
Future.
I don't know. I'm kind of scared to see what we're doing in 100 years.
I don't know. I want to
know?
make it better. So I'm like, how can we make it better? Like, if I could go forward and be like, I would fix this, this, and this, you know?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, make it better.
I guess future. Yeah.
I don't know.
Because then what if I go into the past and like I do some shit that
because like we already know what we did. Like let's learn from it and move forward, you know?
Oh, cute. I love that response. Best feature.
Physical or mental?
Physical, mental.
Okay, so physical? I don't know. That's like such a vain question.
Yeah, let's be vain. Like my ass, I'm so like right now, you guys, quarantine kind of has me some type of way, but most of the time, I would say my ass.
I think, okay, I would agree with that. I think for me, it's like, I used to, okay, so here's, okay, so I would say thighs and ass for sure, but it wasn't always cool. I always had legs and thighs and ass, and, you know, the Kardashian thing wasn't cool when I was like younger.
Wasn't, no.
So now it is, so thank you very much for that. I would say butt and thighs for sure.
Yeah, you have good legs.
Mentally, I think just like tenacity or just like grit. I was
gonna say your perseverance for sure.
Yeah,
or your curiosity. I was telling Victoria about this the other day. Like I love how curious you are and how much you want to learn and expand yourself as a human and as a nurse. And I think it's amazing.
Thanks.
I'm so jealous about that quality in you. It's because it's so natural. You just naturally are curious and want to explore and expand your horizon. And I think that's awesome.
Yeah, but one thing I wish I was that I'm not is as funny as you are. You're like naturally witty. You and Jacob have that. I'm not naturally witty.
I don't know if I would call myself. I that definitely wouldn't be the trait. I would probably just say.
I love that in you.
I just degaff.
Yeah, you really do, which I love.
I just sit in the corner and chill.
Sometimes I care what people think too much. I do. I have that trait for sure.
Yeah.
But I am curious. I would say that's a big thing. And I want to do better. I want healthcare to be better. I want to give better to our patients. I want people to understand more things. So that's where I'm going. I don't know where it's going, but we're going there.
Yeah. All right. Last question. Best piece of advice you've ever received?
From my dad, when I did not get into nursing school for the third time, and he basically told me, I don't even remember the way he said or like what exactly it was, but he basically told me like, buckle up, baby, keep going. Like you just don't stop. Like that's a big message I have to anyone doing pretty much anything. But if you know you're meant to do something, do not let anyone tell you no. Like I just, I could get rejection. I got a lot of rejections through my process as a nurse, and I didn't get my job right away as a nurse. And I think if you want something enough, you're going to work that hard, and you will appreciate it so much more when you get there. Mm-hmm. I just think just keep going, persevere, buckle up, baby, keep going. You just do it.
Yeah.
There's no excuses. Like, I just feel like you can hit a lot of roadblocks. You can say a lot of things. You hit all these things like financial issues, learning disabilities, Trust me, I've been there. And you just, if you really want it, you have to push through. And it's hard. And you have to, get down with your grit and do it. I think that was
funny is I think that my best piece of advice is from my dad. I don't even know if it's advice. It's more just he used to say this to me all the time. If I was ever feeling anxious or stressed or sad for, some reason that maybe didn't qualify for a strong emotion that I was exploring into, I would just be in my head. Yeah. And he would just go, stop it. And it's my favorite thing to this day. And if ever I'm feeling in my head or stressed out, I just take a breath and I go, stop it. Figure it out. We're all fine. And we'll get to where we need to be. You know what my favorite memory of your dad is? What? Your sister was having a temper tantrum in Costco when she was 3. And I just remember walking behind and your dad, and all of a sudden, and she was having temperature, like straight up on the floor, screaming her head off. She was so pissed. And so your dad got down on the ground and started having a temper tantrum with her. Okay. And about, 30 seconds into this, she stops and she gets up and she looks at your dad and she goes, Daddy, stop it. And then they just kept walking. They just kept walking on. Oh my god. So reverse psychology for all of you parents out there. Totally. Works great. Totally works. Love some reverse psychology. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I just think I love you. Thanks for coming on today. I love you too. Thanks for listening, you guys. I hope this is a fun little moment. And hope you got some good tips. Yeah. Spreading messages of positivity throughout this craziness. Thanks for having me back. I love being on here. Yeah. And as of right now, I feel like I am working on a couple blog posts that'll be going up in the next couple weeks. I am working on a more specific COVID episode coming up with at least one provider, possibly 2, that we will be doing remotely, and giving you guys a little bit more insight into the behind the scenes and what it's like to be a COVID provider right now. So you guys hopefully will get to hear that from a frontline provider. And what else do I have going on right now? I am going to be releasing, we still have quite a bit of episodes. We have a lot of episodes that we'll be releasing. But I just feel like this was a little more timely, and
Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else that Thanks, guys, for listening.
Yeah, you're killing the game. I love you.
Yeah, I'm really happy to have everybody here with me. It's been a great experience, and I'm looking forward to a wonderful podcast series, you know?
I wish you the best of luck. I know you're going to succeed and do great.
Can't wait to have you back on, baby.
I know. Until next time, you guys.
Thank you so much, you guys, for listening. I truly value your time and look forward to bringing you more selfie shows. In order to support the show, please head over to rate and review the show. Let me know what you think. I really want to hear from you. Please be sure to follow us on Insta at CELLFIE podcast. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. You can find all of our episodes on www.tipsfromtori.com, and be sure to check out those show notes below. There's a lot of information down there about our guests and sponsors. And thank you so much for listening. Catch you guys next time.